Oh, my bad. I didn't see you guys there. My bad. Hey. Welcome to another tutorial by me, MX, and I'm here to teach you how to spin dubstep music. So, let's get the quick things out of the way. Number one, when you're mixing dubstep, there are many different subgenres that you need to learn before you start to mix them together. You know, to choose what you want to do. I like all of it. I just like to blend it in every now and then. But if you're just starting on dubstep and you've seen some genre that people that you admire DJ and you don't know what it's called, I am here to let you know what that is. So, currently everybody right now is spinning modern rhythm, which is like, the wank, wank. And there's bro rhythm, which is the direction of dubstep is taking, where it's like bro step, but it's like rhythm elements. Then there's metal step for people who headbang and are into death metal, and then there's progressive step who are people into like actual production and pretty melodies and girls singing in their ears. There's that. And then there is deep dub, which is stuff like Ganja White Knight and Rez, and it's all like just so bass. There's that stuff. So I prefer bro rhythm and sometimes like modern rhythm, but I like to swap between the two. But I really love me some bro rhythm because I come from the bro step era, brah. Go Skrilly. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and switch it over to the track, y'all. So, first things first. I want to have a PSC with you guys. I really want to talk with you guys about this. The one thing that I noticed with a lot of dubstep DJs, is that you guys don't keep in mind this little bar at the very top. It's called a peak meter, a VU meter. Same thing on my fucking controller. It tells me that I'm peaking. That red means you shouldn't be in there. It should be at least at the yellow, never in the red, except for OBS. For some reason, you need to be a little bit in the red so people can hear you at a proper quality level. I don't know why, but I have my own on red most of the time. But not blaring. It shouldn't be distorted. You should be able to monitor your sound through a different device if you're streaming, or from a third-party device like some speakers if you want to hear it. Because you might be clipping and it's going to sound like dog poo-poo, and no one wants to listen to dog poo-poo because there's no audio jack like my iPhone. So anyway, we're going to get into the number one spot, which would be number two. After that, after the V meters and the peaking and monitoring your sound, I know dubstep is supposed to be loud. It usually is, but you're not supposed to be as loud as it. It does the job. Don't destroy speakers. Now we're going to go to step two, which is the basics, which is chopping. Chopping is done on a one by one scale, which would be 1 1 1 1 or 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. You never go like 1 2. You never count 2 bars unless you're trying to switch over the chopping. Other than that, it's mainly just 1 1 1 1 back to back. So I'm going to show you, like pretty much like how I usually do it. A lot of people also is we're going to take moon blocks and we're going to take activated. Of course, it's to infect. I'm just using some basic examples, and we're going to mix infect and subtronics with infect activated. I mean, it's a remix of an effect song, but whatever. Let's just get into it. Fuck it. All right, let me show you.
Swagger stands out to the bar, let's get the drinks in. Yeah, the night is still young. So let's get want your gin, darling. I said, where's your BB? Fuck that. I don't want your pin. Yeah, we're gonna drink till the morning. Pass out and do it again.
Yeah, that's basic chopping right there. 1 2 1 2. Now the little one skip is a half step, so it's 1 2 1 2 1. It's like a half step. Just full step or half steps, and then I did a 2-step, which is 1, 2 to count over to switch, 1, 2 count over to switch the start of the chop and the end of the chop. It's back and forth. But you usually just do it with both. That's usually how it is on those. Now we're gonna get into cueing, dubstep style. So you have the 2 drops that I queued up already, which will actually have like so there's a vocal part of this, right? So if they have a vocal part of this song and you know it's not straight dog water, you can cue where it starts. I usually have 4. Then I always set Q3 for the drop. Now with dubstep like rhythm, it never has a 1. You got to know the 1. It won't have a kick to help you with a 1. That's why, like I said, dubstep is very fucking complicated. So, you know for a fact it has a 1, but not it has a 2, but not a 1. Then you got to assume that there's a 1. Do you see how I'm getting to know this? So we're gonna put a cue point on the imaginary 1, because we know that's where the song starts. Also, what helps is those little white lines you see on the screen. If you have those in your program, I don't know which program you're using, but that is called a beat grid, which it quantizes, which means lines up with the song, to show you where the song is supposed to change or where you can cue at. So, for example, you have that part. Then, oh look, there's like oh, there's a breakdown section. We're gonna put cue there, cue that, and then. Yeah. That's just like cueing. Also, an easy way to mixing songs, just in case you missed, like you don't know where the drop is, or you want to use just the vocal. Like, for example, if you use a very popular song that people know, like Throwing Elbows, and you use that vocal and mix that with like after you count to 8 4 times the beat of the current song, you're getting people excited, like, oh shit, he's about to chop Throwing Elbows, boy. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I love this blah, 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 with Throwing Elbows. It's so sick. Oh my god. Like, yeah. So I'll show you what I mean. I'm gonna mix in, I'd say, because not many people know choppas. It took me 2 weeks to find what the fuck choppa was after I heard it on Sullivan King's set at Lost Land. So I'm gonna mix in 2 popular songs, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's go. Now, before this bass drops, after you count to 8 4 times, vocals are usually done by either a 2-bar beat, which is 1 line, 2 line, and then, that counts as 2 bars. So it'd be either a 2-bar count or a 4-bar count. So you cue and count before you get to that last 8 when to play the vocal in. And that's how you play the vocal in, slowly mix it in, boom. So I'll show you what I mean. See what I mean? You can eat shit and fucking. It's like, oh, it's a skeleton. You already know. You know what I'm saying? Also, another thing that also helps with queuing up another drop is knowing where the build-up begins. Because after you count to 8 4 times, you can start that build-up. So I'd say right here, when it transitions to this, I'm going to start the build-up to this. And then it's going to build the hype up, letting people know the drop is about to change. So here we go. Watch this. Damn. Beat 10. Mind you, build-ups are a little hard to control, but if you know how to count and also cue in your headphones, you know. But that was just like a little example. I know it wasn't the greatest, but it's a little example of building it up and ready to get ready to drop it to another song. So yeah, build up and vocal cue dropping are also good ways, along with the first thing I showed you, transitioning from drop to drop. Anyway, we're gonna go into the good old wonderful land that we call effects. Now, some people overuse effects, but this is a little keynote that will help a lot of people that are starting out into mixing dubstep, and that is knowing the effects that you're going to use every time you play. If you use Traktor Pro 3, I have Traktor Pro 3, right? It has so many options for effects, right? But I know for a fact, every set I play, I only use 6 effects during a dubstep portion, and then I switch it up for any other kind of genre. But I know for a fact, these 6 effects help me do all the cool shit that people people hear. So one great effect that I use is transpose stretch, which is a pitch shifter. Because in a lot of dubstep, there's a lot of pitch shifting, which is why I wanted to reiterate that I don't know if I said this before. Keys don't mean shit. You could have 9M with 11M. That don't mean shit because it's all about the sounds, my guy. Like I'm telling you right now, unless you mix regular dub, progressive dub, or deep dub, then you use keys. But shit like bro rhythm and like the harder shit, they don't focus on keys whatsoever. I mean, the kicks and the claps, yeah, but the sounds are, like as you notice, all over the place. So it's all about how the song sounds. Like, oh my God, it's wild. It's wild. That's all I'm saying. So, anyway, we're gonna get into the effects. So I'm gonna show you some pretty cool shit that I can do with one of my favorite tracks done by Hercules. I think Covered in Blood. Yeah, and it's pretty sick. And I'll show you why effects are very vital because some people overuse effects, as you've seen in my last video, that you have to count the bar when you use them and don't overuse your effects. You have to use them in moderation. So let's go ahead and play this so I can shut the fuck up and show you what I'm talking about.
Nowhere to go down. This merry-go-round has become my own. I'm covered up in I'm covered up in
You see with all that free range, you know what I'm saying? Effects just make it even better, but you gotta know that one bar. But choose your 6. These 6 help me do all kinds of that kind of sort of cool shit that I did. Bending the pitch and double tapping it and making y'all fluttered. Like, yeah, you gotta figure out your effects because a lot of people will pick like phaser, flanger, basic shit, you know what I'm saying? But if you're going to pick basic shit, you got to know how to use it, you know what I'm saying? If you have a phaser and a flanger on at the same time and your dry wet is all the way to the wet, it's going to be smothering that hoe. You don't want to smother. You don't want this to happen. You know what I'm saying? No. Moderation. Chill out. Also, the thing that a lot of people don't notice is when you're playing dubstep, this is a good thing. Keep water. All right, it's cool to drink beers and shit, but you can get pretty hyped at times. And also keep your equipment keep your drinks away from your equipment unless it's in a water bottle. Because a lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to have all my shit sitting around my equipment and I'm about to play this heavy-ass music, and then you knock something over and you waste like a $400 product, your laptop, your soundboard, and all that. I'm saying this is things that you need to keep in mind. Like, shit can get pretty hype. Or some people will set beer by your shit and you not notice it because you're chopping and you're getting it, and then boom, your stuff's all smothered in. So always try to keep drinks away when dubstep's playing because people get really hyped playing this stuff. It is really like kind of angry but really hyper music, and it can make all kinds of serious shit happen. So always check your surroundings. It's really important. I always keep 2 water bottles and a little bit of napkin, everything like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to cover that last part because that's also important when you have your friends over and they're setting drinks around, no one's paying attention. You know, levels, effects, EQs, and mixing and all that. Backspin. I mean, you know, it's all kinds of stuff that you figure out. But like I said, just practice. Just practice a lot because this takes time to mix a dubstep, mixing in different ones. Like, okay, I'll cover one more thing before I go. You have 2 different types of mixing dubstep. But the one type that people really like most of the time, especially if you're a headliner slot and it's your first time, because I hope this helps you out, you better be going drop to drop, back to back for a long time until you decide to let people breathe. You got to keep them head banging, neck sore, like heart beating, just gripping onto their life with the hardest bass music you could find, which is some hard, gnarly dubstep. And then you just cut it out and let it break down so everybody can breathe for a bit. Switch it up. That's how I learned this from Excision. I learned this from many other people that I've talked to out there in the field when I used to be a DJ. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and the other one is just basic mixing, like mixing, drop, breakdown, drop, breakdown. But always drop for drop. If you want to get a lot of notoriety, drop for fucking drop. Just keep slaughtering them. But yeah, I'm MX. Hope you guys had a good time. Good luck. You know what I'm saying? And if you need help, don't look on dubstep pools. Always just try to talk to the people at like Dubstep Gutter and Drop the Bass Line and Mr. Dubstep. See if you can get like some downloads that you could pay for or something like that if they have other places. That's usually where I get my music from after I pay for it. So I hope you guys have a good day and goodbye.